Hi, everybody. The topic of today's video is the quest for visible abs later in life. We'll focus on not only the why, but the how I'm going about it. And spoiler alert, there are hidden benefits regardless of the outcome. I'm no fitness professional. If you've seen me online before, it's teaching you how to do Hollywood type visual effects using ordinary software. Meanwhile, my own journey has been one of what I like to call embodimentality. That's tapping into the power of the body to transform everyday life and get out of your head. So, for example, I have a 27-year hot yoga practice and the daily privilege of using rental bicycles to go almost everywhere I need to go. More about that later. In the past, I've never had the patience for targeted fitness goals or even basic nutrition tracking, except when I was in primary school. Something about me, I learned to read really early, like around age 2. And by age 5, you could see me everywhere carrying around a copy of the Guinness Book of World Records. This combined my love of statistics with my fascination with the weirdness of human nature. And my favorite record was World's Fattest Man. His name was Robert Earl Hughes. His peak weight was 1,067 pounds. What they didn't tell you was he had actually achieved that and passed away about 2 decades earlier in the 1950s. They've since eliminated the records that were kind of bad enough for your health to kill you. Then in second grade, I got a hold of a booklet that listed the calories in everyday foods. Adults would see me with it and praise my precocious love of fitness and health, but I think I was more interested in the dark side. How did Robert Earl Hughes get so fat? Why were my parents so overweight? Just a few months ago, I received a diagnosis of pre-diabetic. They just came back with healthy eating and regular aerobic exercise encouraged. Of course, I initially did nothing. It was also the holidays. I believed I already ate healthy. I knew I had good cardio. I didn't really have a plan that appealed to me to do anything about this. And then I thought of this challenge. This video is for you if you've reached the point where middle age is debatable or charitable, i.e., you'd have to live to over 100 to actually be at the middle, and you're carrying a bit of extra weight. You're uninspired by typical fitness advice. So let me tell you a little bit more about my why. But also, just so I get on the same map as you, I have to ask you whether you prefer what we consider to be the stick, which is necessity and discipline, or the carrot, which is the goodie that you're going for. So the stick is duty, follow the doctor's orders. That's what I was asked to do. That would often lead older people who maybe get pre-diabetic or fully diabetic to lose weight and even deprioritize building muscle. So that brings with it a big danger, frailty. I'll talk about that more in a second. The carrot is vanity, not only how you look, but how you feel. That's certainly not lean and muscular for everyone. This is about what works for you. Of course, with a middle-aged body, you could say nobody wants to see that above a certain age. So let's say you don't want to see that, or you don't want to show anybody that. But how do you feel under your clothes? How do you move around? What if instead of buying the sports car in middle age, you become it? Another thing about fitness for the middle age, and I feel like I'm doing a comedy routine at this point, does it have to be as unsexy as possible? I mean, the approach of a retirement savings for health, that's a term that's sometimes used. A goal like I want to be able to lift my grandkids over my head when I'm in my 80s. It's a beautiful vision, don't get me wrong, but does it actually motivate you to really make a difference in your day to day, let alone transform yourself? Keep in mind that my own better than average fitness regimen led me to pre-diabetes. The real concerns with age are injury, that's a big one, illness, also big, and frailty. There's a component of luck in injury and illness. So if that's you to any degree, I completely understand. And even recently, I've had prior fitness injuries that I had to come back from. So I'm training safe for now. I think it's important to emphasize here, this is not an abstract goal far in the future. That retirement savings metaphor, many people who go for a healthy retirement never actually get to enjoy it. They don't remember to start putting it to use in time. Maybe you want to focus on your precious body in the here and now and how that feels. One thing I can tell you from having started this challenge, there's a daily transformation in how I feel. So it's no longer abstract once you begin. I wake up, I know I've been working out. This is the result of going hard at the beginning. And that brings me to my next point. Let's say, like me, you've been a bit overweight and never done this before. This is a case where, good news, a novice has an advantage. The technical term for gaining muscle while losing fat, which is the challenge I've taken on, is body recomposition. It was largely regarded as a myth until very recently. Part of the reason for that is it doesn't actually work for bodybuilders because they've already gotten close to max muscle and maybe put on a little bit of weight. But as a novice, you actually have the most to gain in terms of muscle and lose in terms of fat. Or at least that's the theory that I want to test. Before I lay out the plan for you, please tell me if you can relate to any of this in the comments. I'm really wanting to hear about your own questions and curiosities. Maybe you have regular workouts with no plan or goal. That was me. Maybe you do intermittent fasting. Also me. Maybe you thought about fasting to drop weight. Be careful with that one. If you don't build muscle simultaneously, you'll lose it in the fast. Unlike the fat, it doesn't come back above a certain age once you lose it. This becomes critical, possibly as early as your 40s and definitely in your 50s. Maybe you eat healthy, but buy pre-made meal items. That was me. Chicken salad and turkey meatloaf from Trader Joe's. I didn't look at the ingredients. Maybe you don't pay attention to how much protein you're actually getting every day. That was me until this challenge. Maybe you think frailty is just inevitable. We all die of old age if we're lucky. But some of us are old much younger than others. How exactly do you play this game? Broadly, you don't just focus on losing weight, you cut calories while optimizing for muscle growth. You don't just focus on weightlifting. 3 times a week is what I'm doing. And on off days, I'm walking and adding some flexibility training. And I also use a bicycle to get around. Don't do high intensity cardio to lose weight because it makes you hungrier. The number one most important thing to support nutrition and exercise is tracking. That's the takeaway I want you to get. This is what lifts it from a duty to a game. I'm using a calorie limit that's roughly 25% below maintenance. You can calculate that online. It's a game to hit that calorie limit. A second gain is to hit the protein minimum or even go for the maximum. And I'm doing that only about 40 grams of protein at a time. So I can have that much and then I have to wait 2 or 3 hours before I have any more. I'm weight training with 3 unique workouts per week. I can talk more about those another time. But the basic goal is to raise weight or number of reps on the same sets every week. I'm not changing it up more than once every 3 months or so. The low level cardio to support this is 7,000 steps a day minimum, targeting 15,000 on gym rest days. I'm using the Fitbit Inspire 3 to track this. I have a daily weigh-in first thing in the morning. I wake up wanting to do it, regardless of whether it's going to be good news or not. I've also been doing progress photos. I look forward to all these things, even when I'm not totally feeling it. It's fun to hit the macros while hitting the calories. Now, I've already revealed I was the weirdo who was tracking calories in primary school, but I'm already down about 10 pounds from my peak and close to what I would have considered my minimum weight. So if any of this resonates with you, or you have questions that I didn't answer or skepticisms I didn't address, I want to hear from you. Meanwhile, I thank you for watching to the end, and I'll see you again soon.